Welcome back to the channel, my friends. Warhammer Man Studios. I'm Warhammer Man, and today we're taking a look at the new World Eaters. This video is sponsored by CMO Games. More on that later. Warhammer 40,000 Faction Focus World Eaters. Let's take a look. The galaxy is in turmoil. Friends and family turn upon each other. The entire world's burned to laughter of thirsting gods. What we're trying to say is, it's the best it's been in years, at least if you're one of the chosen servants of the Blood God. The World Eaters are slaughter incarnate, and they showed up just in time to reap the benefit of a brand new edition. Let's see what the newcomers to Warhammer 40,000 can do with a fresh new set of rules. If brutal close combat is the name of your game, the World Eaters are the only players worth looking at. Their bloodletting skills are off the charts, and now that everyone's just a bit tougher all around, they have plenty of time to get stuck in. That's not to say that the sons of Angron are all brawl and no brain. Khorne's chosen legion are surprisingly adept at wresting control of objectives away from their opponents, and can lock down the territory even as their warriors surge off in search of more blood, skulls, and other things of this nature. Faction rules. Khorne, like all of the Chaos Gods, can be fickle, but the World Eaters enjoy his favor more often than most, and are infamous for the rugged ability to ride the tides of war. The fluctuating attention of the Legion Patron is represented by Blessings of Khorne Army Rule, which has you roll a pool of dice each battle round in order to channel the Blood God's power. So we see the World Eaters Army Rule, Blessings of Khorne. If your army faction is World Eaters, at the start of each battle round, you can make a Blessings of Khorne roll. To do so, roll 8d6. You can then use these dice to activate up to 2 Blessings of Khorne from the Blessings of Khorne list. Each Blessing of Khorne specifies the dice result it requires. Where a number is specified, a double or triple of that value or higher is required. You can only activate each Blessing of Khorne once per battle round. Any unused dice from the Blessings of Khorne roll are then discarded. Once activated, each Blessing of Khorne applies to units from your army with this ability until the end of the battle round. Of course, it's 8 dice, so what exactly do you do with these rolls? If you guessed, spend them to upgrade your army with potent effects chosen from a list of 6 powerful abilities, you're right on the money. A furious warcry to accompany your choice is recommended, but not mandatory. Alright, so here's the World Eaters Army Rule, and these are the blessings you can purchase. So you're going to roll your 8 dice, and then you're going to use those dice to buy upgrades off this list. You can buy up to 2, and they last the entire battle round. So any double, and you can add 2 to the move characteristics of models. Anybody with this ability. It's going to say in this unit or whatever, but it's anybody with this ability. So theoretically, add 2 inches to the move of everybody in your army. Wrathful Devotion, any double. Models in this unit have the Feel No Pain 6+ ability. If models in this unit already have the Feel No Pain ability, add 1 to the Feel No Pain rolls. So pretty good. Everything get a 6-up shrug, or if you already have like a 5-up shrug, it goes to 4, etc. So that is any double with those two. So you're rolling 8 dice. So if you get 2 doubles, you're automatically going to have +2 to your move and a 6-up Feel No Pain for everybody in your army. Now we start getting to the more expensive ones. So Martial Excellence is still double, but it's a 3+. So you need to have at least double 3, 4, 5, or 6 to use this. Melee weapons equipped with this model's unit have the Sustained Hits 1 ability. So I believe that is on 6s to hit, you would get an additional hit. And then Total Carnage, double 4+, or any triple. So you need to have double 4s, 5, or 6s, or any triple to get this. Each time a model in this unit is destroyed by a melee attack, if the model has not fought this phase, roll a d6 on a 4-up, do not remove it from play. The destroyed model can fight after the attacking model's unit has finished making its attacks and is then removed from play. So double 4+ or any triple, and you get a 4-up to fight on death. And then we have Warp Blades, double 5+ or any triple. Melee weapons equipped with this model's unit have the Lethal Hits ability, so on 6s to wound, they do mortal wounds. And then finally, Unbridled Bloodlust, double 6 or triple 4. This unit is eligible to declare a charge in a turn in which it advanced. So overall, not bad. Very similar to what we see in the current edition. Again, it's very difficult to try to gauge how strong or anything these are. I will say that previously, once you earned the Blood Tithe and purchased an upgrade, it affected your whole army for the rest of the game. So that was obviously stronger, and there was different ways you earned Blood Tithe tokens instead of just getting Blood Tithe at the start of the game. I think the biggest change I noticed for like list composition just right after seeing this is like previously you were heavily incentivized to take certain units because you got extra Blood Tithe from them. So like a Chaos Spawn was only 25 points and could be taken in a unit of 1, and when it would die, you would get 1 Blood Tithe token. So really strong because you get one blood tithe token for that, or you could get one blood tithe token for an entire unit of Khorne Berserkers. Same thing with rhinos. They were relatively cheap and gave you 2 because they were a vehicle. Same thing with the executioner. He was a character and only 65 points, so he would give you 2. Hellbrutes are very strong, just over 100 points, and they're vehicles, so they would give you 2. It was very thematic because you gained your blood tithe points by either your units dying or by killing your opponent's units. So it incentivized you to play a super bloody game, which was really fun and thematic. So now that you just get these, there's probably going to be some ways to earn them or alter them, etc. But it definitely changes away from the list building aspect. So we're probably going to see a lot less chaos spawn, a lot less executioners, etc. So each boon lasts only until the end of the battle round, but they affect all units in your army, demonic units not included, as they lack the ability. The range of options means you can pick up exactly what the blood god ordered when there's butchery to be done. You even get to pick 2 of them, so a particularly lucky roll can supercharge your turn with speed, durability, or raw power as needed. And just of note also, we don't see anything about bringing Angron back. Now there is a high probability though that has gotten rolled into his actual data sheet, as we've seen with many other abilities. All right, so unit spotlight. Khorne Berserkers make up the mainstay of the World Eater's force, barreling across the battlefield in a crimson tide with chain blades roaring, a bloodthirsty orison to the blood god's might. They combine the armor durability of a space marine with the strength and skill of true battle maniacs, and can whip up a startling blood surge of speed once an enemy attracts their ire. So Khorne Berserkers, move 6, toughness 4, save 3+, 2 wounds, leadership 6+, OC 2. So they come with a bolt pistol. You can add some plasma pistols to the squads as well. But more importantly, we have the Berserker Chainblade and then Khornate Eviscerator. So the Berserker Chainblade is what everybody's going to be armed with. Attacks 4, weapon skill 3+, strength 5, AP -1, damage 1. And then the Khornate Eviscerator is a special weapon, attacks 3, weapon skill 3+, strength 8, -2, 2 damage. So not bad weapons here. I'm not sure if we saw what a regular Space Marine chainsword is going to do, but I would think it's probably the same as the Berserk Chainblade, but strength 4. And then as far as abilities, we have Faction, Blessings of Khorne, and then we have Blood Surge. Each time an enemy unit is selected to shoot after the unit has finished making its attacks. If any models from that unit were destroyed as a result of those attacks, the unit can make a Blood Surge move. To do so, roll 1d6. This unit can be moved a number of inches up to the result, but this unit must finish its move as close as possible to the closest enemy unit, excluding aircraft. When doing so, these models can be moved within engagement range of that enemy unit. A unit cannot make a Blood Surge move while it is battle shocked. So you shoot at the unit, you kill a guy, but you don't remove the unit. They roll a d6 and get to move that directly towards the closest unit. Current rule that they have already. We do notice though that they do not have the sticky objective ability that we have seen on many other armies' main troops choice. So interesting. War gear abilities, Icon of Khorne. Each time you make a Blessing of Khorne roll, if the bearer's unit is within range of an objective marker you control, you can re-roll 1 of the dice. So it sounds like if you have multiple units of Khorne Berserkers with the Icon of Khorne within range of the objective marker at the beginning of their turn, when you roll your 8 dice for the blood tithe, you can re-roll 1 die for each of those units. So if you have, say, 3 Khorne Berserker squads, all of which are within range of an objective, you could potentially re-roll 3 dice. So that could be really strong. Obviously, you want to get a triple or at least double 6s for like the higher level abilities. So that could really help you achieve that. Their objective control characteristic of 2 and horrifying melee capabilities make Berserkers well suited for brawling over objectives. And once they're in range, the Icon of Khorne will make your Blessings of Khorne rolls more reliable. If you thought we could preview the World Eaters without showing off the Red Angel himself though, you'd be incredibly wrong. Angron has barely finished tearing the last edition to pieces, and he's already back, just as you'd expect from an unbanishable demon. Very cool. Definitely excited for this. Now a quick message from today's sponsor. CMO Games has been selling Games Workshop products online for over 20 years. They carry the full line of Games Workshop products, including Warhammer 40,000, Age of Sigmar, Necromunda, Blood Bowl, paint tools, and more. Almost all Games Workshop products are priced at 15% off MSRP. CMO Games takes pre-orders for most Games Workshop products released at their earliest date possible. 12:01 a.m. on Saturday, they go live. Most of these pre-order products are also priced at 15% off MSRP. CMO Games offer free shipping in the US 48 with an order of $50 or more. Their customer service is top-notch and they ship most orders within 24 hours. Visit CMOGames.com using the affiliate link in the description and let them know that you heard about CMO Games from Warhammer Man. Now, back to the video. Alright, so Angron, move 14, toughness 11, save 2+, wounds 16, leadership 5+, OC 6. So he has Seminarius and Spine Grinder strike and then sweep profile. So the strike profile is attacks 8, weapon skill 2, strength 16, AP -4, D6 +2 damage. So quite a bit of damage, but 8 attacks is a pretty big nerf. And then for the sweep attack, we see 18 attacks. So we know previously Angron was getting 13 or he was getting 3 times as many for the sweep. So he was basically getting either 13 or 39. Now he is getting 8 or 18. So substantially less output. Weapon skill 2, strength 8, -2 AP, damage is 2. So not bad, but definitely a big nerf to his damage output. So then we have the Wrathful Presence, glorious bloodletting aura. While a friendly World Eater unit is within 6 of this model, each time a charge roll is made, add 1 to the roll. Infectious Rage aura. While a friendly World Eater unit is below its starting strength, is within 6 of this model, add 1 to the attack's characteristic of melee weapons equipped by models in that unit for the purpose of this ability. If the unit has a starting strength of 1, it is considered to be below its starting strength while it has lost 1 or more wounds. So +1 attack if the unit is missing models or damaged. And then Righteous Slaughter aura. While a friendly World Eater unit within 6 inches of this model, each time a model in that unit makes an attack, you can reroll the hit roll. And then abilities, Core, Deadly Demise, D6, and Deep Strike. Faction, Blessings of Khorne, and then Reborn in Blood. Okay, so this is his bring back rule. Each time you make a Blessing of Khorne roll, if this model is destroyed, you can use a 666 from that roll to use this ability. If you do, this model is no longer destroyed and is placed in reserve with its full wounds remaining. So 666 on 8 dice with some possibilities to modify those dice. We saw with Khorne Berserker's reroll. But 666s on 8 dice is not going to be easy. So it is by no means a guarantee that you're going to be able to bring Angron back as it was before. So substantially different. Previously, you needed 6 points to bring Angron back. And when he died, he was a character and a unit. So you got 2 right off the bat. So it really cost 4 points to bring Angron back before. And it was automatic. Now you're going to need to roll 666s on 8 dice. You know, with a little asterisk. It's going to be much more difficult, much less reliable. So Wrathful Presence is next. At the start of your charge phase, select one Wrathful Presence ability, see left, so those were our 3 auras. Until the start of your next charge phase, this model has this ability. So you're going to pick this at the beginning of your charge phase, which is a little more flexibility, as previously it was at the beginning of the turn. I will note right off the bat, though, that he has theoretically lost his ability that stopped people from falling back. So previously, what made Angron very survivable was that once he was in combat, things couldn't fall back from him. So he was hard for your army to engage because he was locked in combat. That ability is now gone, and so is the reliability of bringing him back to life. So in my opinion, Angron is substantially worse now. Not to mention, obviously, the big hit to his attacks. Overall, Angron is just a lot worse. Doesn't mean he's not good, but he's definitely a lot worse. So damage, 1 to 6 wounds, he's -1 to hit, and then invulnerable save is 4+. Each sweep of Seminarius and Spine Grinder can bisect whole squads of Space Marines. Reborn in Blood returns as an ability that directly interacts with your Blessings of Khorne. So plant a few icons of Khorne atop blood-soaked objectives to make it even more likely that a slain demon Primarch will come roaring back into the battlefield. Canny Cornates will also notice that Wrathful Presence now triggers in the charge phase, allowing you to choose exactly the right aura for the fight phase to come. Crucially, you can use these in the same turn that he deep strikes, immediately bolstering your nearby warriors upon his bloody manifestation. So that is very important too. Previously, when you brought Angron back from the dead, you did not get his special ability because it activated at the beginning of the turn. So now you bring him back, and then at the beginning of the charge phase, his aura activates. So even if the auras are actually worse, the fact that you get them even on the turn when he comes back is good. So interesting changes. We saw Guilliman's stat block already. We saw Abaddon and now Angron as well. So we can kind of compare them. Obviously, Angron's stats are absolutely phenomenal. but his abilities are substantially worse. As where somebody like Guilliman is basically the same. So we're really going to see how this all pans out once we have the new edition and once we get some reps in and everything. I still think Angron is really strong, but after seeing some of the guns in the game and everything like that, taking away his survivability in locking units in combat and them not being able to fall back, and also making it more difficult for him to be resurrected, I really think this is going to change the way the army played a lot. And let's be real, most competitive lists were not using Angron already. So interesting choice. We'll see how it plays out. Weapon spotlight. Few weapons in the World Eater's armory can be described as much more than a big, sharp lump of metal. But they don't entirely neglect the sheer damage a good old-fashioned cannon can do. The mighty Lord of Skulls can mount several such weapons in his giant, tracked body. And the Demogorge cannon is getting a healthy strength and damage upgrade to deal with everything from tough-as-nails Terminators to super-heavy battle tanks. So Demon Gore Cannon Blast, range 18, attacks D6, ballistic skill 3+, strength 14, AP -4, damage D6 +2. Of course, even this demon-powered artillery piece has a massive axe. These are World Eaters after all. Stratagem Spotlight. Being at the forefront of every bloody assault is a dangerous business, and despite their strength and resilience, the World Eaters often find themselves cut down under the furious guns of their foes. Luckily, Khorne doesn't particularly care for whence each blood offering flows, and it's entirely happy to corrupt a battlefield consecrated by the deaths of his own warriors. So we have Blood Offering, 1 command point, Berserker Warband Epic Deed Stratagem. When any phase, target 1 World Eater's unit from your army that was just destroyed while it was within range of an objective marker you controlled. You can use this stratagem on the unit even though it was just destroyed. Effect: that objective marker remains under your control even if you have no models within range of it, until your opponent controls it at the start or end of any turn. So interesting. At first, this definitely seems a little bit underwhelming, but then when you look, it is 1 World Eater's unit with no restrictions. So a lot of other armies already have sticky objectives on their troops. This basically gives you, for 1 command point, the ability to have sticky objectives on anything. And the truth is, there's an old saying called CP for VP. And that is, you will gladly spend your command points for victory points. And that's exactly what this stratagem does. So initially it might not seem amazing, but I think this is a very, very strong stratagem. As this stratagem only costs a single command point, you might want to keep a spare in your back pocket for those times when your opponent levels their mightiest guns at a critical objective. Imagine the look on your opponent's face when not even killing the last few berserkers sat on an objective can keep you from scoring. And not only is this a looming threat, but it also messes with how your opponent will actually behave. Because oftentimes they'll say, okay, I can level all my guns at this berserker unit, but if I kill them, he's just going to pay 1 command point and still have sticky objectives. So then not only do they not do that and make you waste that resource and kill off your berserkers, they might choose to shoot at a completely different target. So this thing is very strong in my opinion. Just having this in your back pocket is really nice. And last but not least, we have a word from the clowns in the studio. The World Eaters are brutality made manifest, a blunt object of intense trauma that rides an overwhelming wave of hyper-violence and bloodshed, says Rich from the Warhammer Design Studio. When designing the rules for the World Eaters, it was clear that they shouldn't have to rely on tricks, shenanigans, or any kind of overly complex interaction to get their point across. They are not subtle or cowardly, and neither are their rules. With high strength attacks and AP values across the board, every unit hits like a truck and with no brakes going downhill. Their army rule, Blessings of Khorne, allows them to adapt on the move in order to provide just the right type of senseless violence. Their army rule, Blessings of Khorne, allows them to adapt on the move in order to provide just the right type of senseless violence at just the right time, and additionally perform signature moments such as the potential gore-fueled resurrection of their unstoppable demon Primarch Angron. So yeah, definitely interesting. Again, very, very difficult to sort of judge how good or bad anything is. We're not getting the full picture, not only of the specific faction, the units in the faction, all the rules, but we don't have a broad picture of the actual rules for the game or the other factions. So for now, I'm going to stay positive. It looks like the World Eaters are still pretty thematic. Definitely looking forward to how they play in this edition, although it definitely seems like they have been toned down pretty substantially. But we do see that the Adeptus Mechanicus is up next. So let me know what you think of the World Eaters. What do you think of the new rules so far? Always like to hear your guys' opinions. Special thanks to CMO Games for sponsoring the video. And that's it for today. Warhammer Man Studios, I'm Warhammer Man. And we could probably have a little bit of blood for the Blood God. And I'm out of here.